About 5 years ago, I got this gift from my brother. It was the complete anthology of the Calvin and Hobbes books. Um, all the Calvin and Hobbes comics in 3 volumes. If you don't know what Calvin and Hobbes is, comic strip, you can look it up. But it's a comic strip that was really important in college. And I didn't quite know why. I just, for some reason, it was just funny to me, and it just reached me on some weird level. And after a while, I didn't have time for it. I got the gift right before I got married, right before I got into my second year of teaching, my first full-time gig, and a bunch of stuff happened, and I never even opened the books until today. And I started realizing something. When you become a young adult, around 30, you've been through a couple of years where you've done pretty much nothing but obey, pacify people, or follow a set of guidelines that are sort of overhanging. Just the expectations of whatever group you're in. And you don't really have time to be accepting of yourself. You're constantly doing what other people need you to do. And when you can't reach those expectations, you use that as a way to either judge yourself or judge other people, or, criticize your lot in life. At least that's the case for me. And today, I'm pretty much the kind of person who just basically, you can see by the videos that I put up here, I end up being this sort of teacher person. This educator role pervades my videos, and that's not what I made this channel for. I made this channel to show what I like and how to have some fun. And you can see that in the earlier videos, but the later ones, it's been just me just rambling about ideas that I think are important. And so, after finally cracking these books open and reading all the comics, I get that feeling I used to have before I graduated. I think the difference between what I was and what I am now is that lately I haven't really respected the process. I haven't respected the way that things are, because I don't feel as though people around me, co-workers, friends, I'm not sure if I've allowed people to really know who I am enough so that they can respect my process. All I mean by respect the process is to trust that the beliefs, the traits, the tendencies of other people are the best that those people can possibly do. It's to acknowledge the fact that everybody is really trying as hard as they can to be the kind of people that they ought to be, and that even the limitations on those expectations of themselves should be accepted, should be maybe not praised. People make mistakes and they do bad things sometimes, and some people act in ways that are not very nice. None of us is perfect. It's not to deify people, but it's to understand who they are. It's to have what Carl Rogers called the unconditional positive regard. See, I'm back in teacher mode now. What I'm saying is, I haven't really done a good job of letting other people see that I am who I am. They see this worker, because I've been trying so hard to just keep a job, keep a paycheck, help kids, teach kids, tutor kids, play music for kids. That's been my gig forever, you know. But I'm seeing now that just by looking at the comics, Calvin and Hobbes, to put it briefly, is a window into the world of this little kid's creation. And it shows how this kid has to reconcile the idiosyncratic desires of a normal child and has to filter them into this fantasy world, channel it, I guess would be a better way to say it, into the fantasy world and use it as the outlet. And it's the only way he can, because as long as it's imaginary, people accept it, or people ignore it, or people just don't do anything about it. And it allows him to do what he needs to do. It's almost as if the reader is respecting his process, the little 6-year-old kid in the story, Calvin. And I think now I understand why I liked the comic. The way I took it may not be what other people took, but that's fine. I took it to be an unyielding view, an uncompromising view, warts and all, of a typical kid who may not do what you like and may not do what you would do in those situations. This kid is not the kid next door. This kid is not an archetype. This is every kind of kid wrapped into one, in my opinion. He's nice, he's not nice. He's adventurous, he's not adventurous. He's everything. And makes it where, even if you disagree and take the viewpoint of the parents or the viewpoint of the other kids that just don't understand why he's pretending to be Spaceman Spiff. If you don't know what I'm talking about, find out about the comic, because it's a good comic. Anyway, even if you do take those positions, you don't have the opportunity to ignore him. You don't have the luxury of saying, okay, he's just a weird kid, because you see what's in his head. And it's a very honest portrayal of a kid in this little comic. It's a very he's very eloquent to those that he needs to be. And he's eloquent when he looks at us and breaks the fourth wall. And you can't help but respect his process. I'll make a better example, because I don't know if this is clear. If you're a kid who has ADHD, for example, which is one of the many accusations that people find that he has, Calvin has ADHD, which I don't want to label the guy, because he's every kid, so he's got every problem or every benefit, so whatever. But let's just say you got ADHD. If you're a kid among 30 and there's a teacher in front of you, that teacher does not know why you are going through what you're going through. The teacher does not understand the fact that there's a very unusual connection between the imaginary part and the part that deals with the frontal lobe of the brain, the decision-making process and all that. It can be partially genetic, otherwise not so much. The teacher does not respect your process. The teacher only respects your output. But it's the ones that actually do find a way to respect the processes of many people. That's when you get the counselor to come in, or that friend, or that person from across the street that talks to you. It's like that. And now that I'm a counselor, I get to be that. So I'm grateful that I read Calvin and Hobbes. This is going long, so I'm going to cut it. But I guess that's it for now.